Yeah, we don't say work in progress, because progress is anything but. And effective change starts with you, so you gotta create the reality that you want to see. And so I'm not going to use language that contributes to this false reality that we're living in, like progress being a good thing. So I always say work and success. Have faith that you will eventually be successful. Progress is death and destruction and liberal bullshit, okay? Progress is technology that makes people miserable. Progress is technology that makes people kill themselves, okay? All this technology is making people suicidal, homicidal, genocidal. And yet people will make so many excuses for it. Ooh, an undercover. You see that? Damn. Well, they had their emergency lights on. They usually pull people over like right here, though. I've seen that more times than I haven't seen that. But anyway, yeah, what was I talking about? Technology, again. Oh no, I was fixing to say something that I thought was so important, but I guess it wasn't because I forgot what it was. New technology, speaking of technology, check out that fucking aircraft. That aircraft that I'm sure is completely unnecessary, and they're doing something really sinister. But I guess it's easier to not assume things like that, because if you just assume that like everything's bad and everybody's out to get you, like that in itself will make you want to kill yourself, you know? Because you won't want to exist in this world anymore if you know that like everybody's trying to kill you. So, like, I understand the appeal to like being asleep and not facing anything, because if you did, you get so depressed that you wouldn't want to be here anymore. Yeah, I get it. Oh no, but I think I was gonna say something about how like when people talk about, you know, like figuring out how the world really is. You see that shit? You see that shit? Unnecessary. You see that over there? That's called a trash can. They could easily just walk their happy ass over there and put that shit in the trash can, but no, we're just gonna leave it outside of our car. Because we should kill ourselves, but we don't know how, because we don't have self-awareness, so we have to destroy everything around us. Instead of just destroying ourselves, which is what we really want to do, but we don't even know it. Anyway. All the stuff that they say is necessary is not. But they've got you convinced that you have to do everything with all the stuff that's killing you. And it's really obvious. Yeah, it's really obvious. Yeah, it's really obvious. To a thinking person, to a feeling person, I think too much, I feel too much, I think too much, I feel too much. And it bothers the sheep what doesn't bother the sheep. They can't wait to run from human experience. They convince themselves that it's a bad thing to be uncomfortable. When am I not uncomfortable? I have sciatica. Oh, and schizophrenia. But that one is way more fun now that I know what I'm dealing with. Anytime I get depressed, I read the scripture and I clear that shit up real fast. I wish that I could pass this along, but I know that if I pushed it on you, that would be wrong. 'Cause you gotta figure it out for yourself. If you don't, it won't mean nothing. We're all on a different path, and the one that I'm on doesn't involve the stuff that you do, or the stuff that you excuse, rather. But yeah, it's like we think that I should probably put on my work shirt. I shouldn't just wear this costume. Me? Do you see a vortex? It's a cheeseburger. But yeah, stuff that wasn't necessary 20 years ago, we've convinced ourselves is necessary. You know? And it's just like smartphones have already dumbed people down to the point of no return. I really don't want to think about what's coming next. You know what I mean? So like I noticed when the phones came out, it was like progressive. Okay, so like more and more people got a smartphone, right? Well, when it comes to like those Apple Watches, oh my goodness. Like, people couldn't wait to get that shit. You know? Because of how addicted to the phones they are. It's almost like the watches prove that that person's a phone junkie. Okay? I don't know about that. That's not necessarily true. It's not. It's really not. Like, I'm arguing with myself, in case you're wondering what's going on. It's not multiple personalities. Calm down. Different aspects of my personality. One of those aspects is very, very masculine. Okay. But yeah. So, what was I saying? No, but like in the beginning though. Like, I know that not everybody has an Apple Watch for the same reason. I know not everybody has a smartphone for the same reason. But most people have the watch and most people have the phone because, like, they're going along with society. Okay? It's not because they need it. It's because they don't question what they do. Most people don't. Okay? And that's not, like... I mean, yeah, it annoys me. But are you a bad person because of that? No, I don't think you're a bad person. But I do think that, like, you're a drug addict. I mean, how could you not be? Like, they literally invented this stuff to be addictive. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to the watches, the watch connects to the phone. And then you got those little internet cockroaches. You know what I'm talking about. Those little white earbud things. They look like cockroaches. But you know what that says to me? That says, like, every single time that I see somebody with one of those things in their ears, it says to me, like, I don't want to be human anymore. I have succumbed to technology. My will, it entirely revolves around my obsession with technology. Okay? And once again, you know, I'm not saying that all these people are bad. But, I mean, in a way, though, they kind of are. Because it's like, I don't, like, on a moral level, I don't think that, oh, you're behaving unethically towards society, like you're not hurting people because you're in love with your phone and you would marry your phone if you could, and you would have babies with your phone if you could. So I'm not saying like, oh, you're on your phone maliciously, or you're, you know, consciously choosing to be a junkie, okay? But I don't know. I think this is like the issue I've always had with sheep, that like they just don't think about how their actions are going to impact others, and they don't think about like the bigger picture of the decisions that they make. Like, that's why I'm so hard on society when it comes to, you know, sex and food and all that, you know, because it just seems like people are just they're just so self-destructive. Because they're nihilists, you know, like they just don't see the purpose in anything. And if you don't see your purpose, like, you might as well self-destruct, you know? It's like, I knew that I had a purpose, but I couldn't figure it out, and that made me self-destructive. So I can't even imagine waking up every day and not knowing why you exist, and feeling like everything's falling apart anyway, and the world is killing itself, and everybody around you is killing themselves in some kind of way. And so it's like there's just such a limited amount of you know, inspiration out there. And, you know, I realized that if I got on Twitter, I would probably be, you know, the best thing about Twitter. But I fucking hate Twitter with a passion. And I think it's terrible for society. And I'm not going to do something that I think is terrible for society. Because I would feel guilty about it. And I wouldn't do it in faith. I would just feel guilty. So, you know, it's like when I was on Instagram, I just wanted to kill myself. And so I was like, no, just start smoking again. And so I went back to chain smoking. But not surprisingly, when I got off Instagram, I stopped smoking. It's almost as if addiction goes well with addiction. I mean, I don't think that you can use stuff like that and not get addicted to it, because of what it does to your brain. And they always say, well, we have no idea how this is going to affect kids. Oh, you can look at them and tell how it's affecting them, honey. You're a piece of shit, and you're going to burn in hell.